All right, welcome. It's Mama Heart, and I'm back to just have a conversation this morning. My heart is deeply broken, um, but I'm going to just broach this. I was going to go live, but I wanted to make sure I was able to stay composed, so I'm going to video it anyway. But my love acronym has been LOVE, to listen, to being open, to being vulnerable, and to be expecting change. And right now, I'm expecting change. What has happened on Valentine's Day has devastated so many, and all of us are asking, what can we do? I want to tell you, we can do something. And it isn't what you want to think, throw guns away or do this crazy stuff. I mean, yes, we need to change things, but individually, being present in our community is powerful. We were down in the area. I had taken one of my grandchildren to the park, and we almost got run over by this little person on a bike. And I remember on this little bridge saying to my husband, gosh, had we not moved severely over to the side, that little person didn't care. This little person, I'm gonna say, ranged between 7 to 9. I couldn't really tell. But immediately I figured I'm gonna be watching that child in the park. We go to the park, we're playing, and everything I mentioned to my little, oh, look at the water mister. All of a sudden, that child went to the water mister. I mentioned these really cool boulders, and all of a sudden, that little child is bouncing off of the boulders. In a moment, I turned to my husband and I said, that little person needs attention. And so that was the key. My husband knew, pay attention to our little, because Nana is now gonna engage with this little child. And I know with our environment, that might be scary or unhealthy, but seriously, there was not an adult with this child who came zooming into the park, was there by themselves, and was really needing a lot of attention and acting very poorly, like aggressive in the park. So after he was jumping on the rocks, I said, oh, that looks like parkour. And he goes, yeah, I do it with my brothers. And so all of a sudden then he's showing me how he does all these toys, and was telling me he's a BMX rider. And so it just literally a very organic conversation happened. And before he ended up getting on his bike and leaving, he stayed quite a while and stayed engaged to me. And so I will continue to hold that little person in my heart and say prayers for that child, because that child was down from Bakersfield. There was no one there. I go, oh, do you live around here? And he goes, no, I'm from Bakersfield. I'm thinking, where's your family if you're from somewhere else? I can't judge. I can only go by what I was experiencing from that child. That child needed attention. And I was an adult willing to, even if it was 15 minutes of I'm engaged with you, I'm present to you, I value what you're saying, it can make a difference. That little person left the park different than when he came into the park. Not because of me, but because there's a place where all of us need value, need acceptance. And I don't know what that young man's heart and mind was going on, but I want to tell you, there is real struggles. And there's this test that they did by Advert Childhood Experiences, and it's about a list of 11 things that if these things go on, there could be later on in life physical health issues. I want to tell you something. I scored 9 of the 11. So I'm sure, that might not surprise some of you, but what I'm saying is there are abuses in homes that you can't see behind the doors that affect the soul of a child. So if you see a child being very aggressive with animals, being mean to people, address it. Talk to them. This being in our phones and not feeling like we are a part of the whole human race, I'm really saying throw the phones away if we have destroyed what we are as community. And I really feel that we need to put the phone down when we're walking and look at each other. If you ever anywhere with me, I'm looking right into your eyes. I'm talking to you and choosing to be present. I'm not special. I'm not a special human being, but I am someone who says, if it hurt me, it might hurt someone else. And so I can make a difference in choosing to be loving, choosing to be listening to the conversations around me. And if I hear something that seems off, gosh, maybe say something. If I see young children in a park playing and they're playing poorly and there's not an adult around, guess who's gonna show up and make a comment? Or maybe engage with them and show them more appropriate play. Because gosh, kids, gosh, moms and dads, we're responsible. We are responsible to extend love. That's what we're here for. And if you're just in your phone or in your life, in your business, and don't make way for others, we're gonna have more of these situations, and it's incredibly tragic. So, where can you be different? Where can you engage? And I'm gonna tell you, I've been the parent who's told other parents, gosh, this happened and little Johnny did this. I gotta tell you, I literally have been lambasted. I've lost relationships because I was willing to let a parent know this was a situation. So I'm gonna tell you, it's not always popular, but I've chosen to stay consistent, stay the course in who God has had me be this whole time. So if you see something with children that are behaving very poorly and you know the parents, tell the parents. If they don't want to know, at least you have let them know. I used to tell my kids, I want to know your worst self so that I'm never surprised that someone comes and says, oh, your kid did this. I'll go, yeah, he probably did. And we're working on that character flaw, or we're working on him learning to share, or yes, that happened. I didn't want to be the parent to not like, oh, that's not my Johnny. So moms and dads, if you see in your home at dinner time, Johnny and Sassy Sue engaging and not really learning how to love in this love environment, start praying for their character and then start developing tools. If you don't have them, there are folks out here that have them. There are books. There are so many books that you could read on tools and on things that you can do to engage your family. Are we having dinners with our children? Are we, I know this sounds stupid and the June Cleaver, but gosh, Mom, I've always said the mom is the attitude adjuster of the environment. It is up to me. I create the environment in my home. Women, start being more empowered by what we're supposed to do. Please, if you're in the business field and you come home and you notice character flaws with your children, then work on them in the time you have. I'm not judging anyone for what you're doing, but how many minutes in a day are you engaged with your children? Are you talking to them? Are you asking them tough questions? Not like, how was schoolwork or how'd you do, but what kind of character flaw did you notice in yourself? Every year at birthdays, it's always a good time to say, what are the good things that happened this year? What are the things I want to change? Start developing those things with your children that they can really know there's a responsibility of them to create their best self. So I'm just needing to just say that because one person can make a difference. LOVE, listen. Being open, being vulnerable, and expect change. One person can make a difference, and we can do better. Mama Heart.